How's it going, everybody? My name is Boba Talks, and today I'm here with another Arrow Season 5 video, this time discussing the whole Felicity Black Canary possibility thing that everybody's talking about recently. So quite a while ago, Mark Guggenheim actually teased quite big things for Felicity in the back half of Season 5 of Arrow, and recently we found out a lot more as to what he was referring to back then. Before I go ahead with this video, guys, if you do enjoy it, please leave a like on it, as I'd really appreciate it. And if you aren't subscribed to this channel already, maybe even consider subscribing to stay up to date with more videos just like this. Okay, so if we actually think back into the first half of Season 5 of Arrow, we see that Felicity, has obviously had a new boyfriend, and she's kind of got past Oliver, and her new boyfriend was Detective Billy Malone. Now, I wouldn't say they were exactly extremely close. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say they were casual as well, but we all know how the mid-season finale ended, and we know that Oliver accidentally killed Billy Malone thinking that he was Prometheus. Now, obviously, Felicity really cared about Billy Malone, and I mean, I wouldn't say love, as I said before, but, this has kind of changed things for her, and sort of, just as they say, it was the straw that broke the camel's back for her. And now we're hearing news that in the second half of this season, she is going to have a bit of a change in her character. Now, Felicity has always been a really helpful resource to the team. She's been like the Cisco of the Arrow Cave, but in a way better, because she's been more original and been around for a lot longer. And as well as helping out the team with, in her own way of vigilantiness, if that makes sense, as Overwatch, she's always been a voice of reason whenever she thought Oliver was going a bit too far. She would definitely stand up and say something if she didn't agree with it. We also can't forget the tragic events that happened with Haven Rock and how Felicity, inadvertently destroyed Haven Rock, and that is where also Ragman came from, and there was a bit of drama with that. So the thing that is making this video today is that Mark Guggenheim recently said that Felicity has been living in this darker world for the last 4+ years, and one of the things we're exploring is how much what Oliver and Diggle and Roy and Laurel have been doing as vigilantes affected her and affected her way of thinking about things. Now, this is where everybody on the internet is saying that she's going to suit up and become possibly the next Black Canary, and that the reason for this, which kind of does make sense in a way, is that she feels like she doesn't do enough from behind the desk, and from basically going on the field just like Oliver and Dig do, she can get in the face of Prometheus more and actually make more of a change. And I do see where people are coming from with the context of from behind her desk, the whole Haven Rock thing happened, now she's lost Billy Malone, and now she feels perhaps, especially living in this dark world for the past 4 years, it's probably just made her feel like she needs to bloody do something about it herself, and now that Laura is gone, she could become the next Canary. Now, for me personally, I definitely do not think it's going to happen, almost to the extent of 100%. If it did, I'd, hold my hands up in the air and I'd be very surprised, but I also think that I wouldn't like it. And that's the reason why I don't think it's going to happen, is because I think a lot of people would be very pissed off if, if Arrow's favorite gem, Felicity, becomes the new Black Canary. I mean, they've already kind of pissed people off with what they did with Laura before, her quick acceleration of training into, all of a sudden Black Canary. Imagine if they did that with Felicity. She would need so much extensive training, and if, they rushed that in the slightest bit, considering everything that has happened with Felicity before, which have pissed off the fans, if they did one thing wrong with turning her into the Black Canary, that would almost entirely ruin this show for people, because it's just kind of ludicrous, to put it as a single word. I do get the justification of, why she might want to suit up, but I don't know. I feel like she suits the tech role. Fair enough, everything that's happened recently with Haven Rock and now Billy Malone, it will lead her into a much darker path in the second half of this season, but I think all that incurs is that she'll be a lot more ruthless in what she does, and what I said at the beginning of the video, how she would, normally stand up to Oliver and say something if she didn't necessarily agree with it. All that will probably cease to stop, and she will perhaps become a lot more stubborn and cold like Oliver is sometimes, out of necessity. I think that's all they mean by this new direction they're taking in the second half of Season 5, is that honestly she'll figure out what it actually takes to get stuff done, which Oliver has kind of known for the past 5 years plus of him being a vigilante. And I think honestly what they're pointing out in these quotes that I've read out to you is that, she's just not going to give as much of a F when it comes to Oliver going a bit too far. But they're saying that it is an edgier story for Felicity, but at the same time it's still Felicity. So honestly, I think she's just not going to give much of an F at the end of the day in the second half of season 5. I don't think she's going to suit up. If she did, they would have to execute it perfectly, but I think it is, extremely unlikely. I do like Emily Bett, who plays Felicity Smoke. I do agree with all the flaws that the fans have, perked up in the past about her being a bit annoying and the whole Felicity thing. So if they did this, I feel like it would just be too risky to do. So honestly, guys, to those who are wondering if Felicity will become the new Black Canary, from me, it's a no. For me, in my mind, to summarize it, it would just be the showrunners putting all their chips in, gambling this to work, and that is a bit too risky if you ask me when it comes to the future seasons of Arrow. But either way, everyone, let me know what you think of this in the comment section below. Do you think that they really are teasing that she might suit up in the second half of the season 5, or, right towards the end of it? Or do you agree with me that they're just pointing out that she's going to be a bit darker in the second half of season 5? She's been living in this world for quite some time now, so she's not going to care as much about how Team Arrow execute things in the future. In terms of just being too light in the past, she's just going to get on with it. If you enjoyed this video, everyone, let me know by leaving a like on it, as I'd really appreciate it. And be sure to click on the description so you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Now, if you are a subscriber, don't forget that you can click on the bell to enable alerts for this channel so you don't miss a single video that I upload. But as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.